Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm super excited to share with you guys that it's been 2 days since I started YouTube and I already have almost 500 subscribers and 1,000 views. I'm super excited. Okay, so this has been my motivation to keep on going, and I guess this is it. So let me tell you guys the story. This day was literally the worst day of my life. I don't even know how I'm gonna get to, the park. I feel like I'm gonna be super sentimental, but let's see how it goes. I mentioned this in my last video, and I think I wanted to go more into details on this terrible story that happened. So let's start off by saying that this story is gonna be on how my dog died and everything that happened during, after, before, etc. 2 months before he died, he had a seizure. He started having seizures, yet this was only one time. He had seizure one time and it wasn't even that strong. It was completely normal. So I searched it up on Google, and it said that dogs, when they start getting old, they do get seizures, and they become blind, or I don't know, things happen to them, normal things, because when you're older, things happen to you in life that we just have to accept it because it's life. So that day I was washing shoes outside, and I looked back because I don't know, I just got this feeling to look back. And I looked back, and he was laying to the side, against the tree,
going like this,
like if he was completely having a seizure. I didn't know because it was the first time that happened to him, and I didn't know if dogs had seizures or nothing like that. I had no clue on what was happening. So I ran, and when I went in, I touched him because I was like, what's happening? So I was scared that maybe he would bite me because he was unconscious or he didn't know what was happening. Just my mind was blown at that time. So I ran inside because my mom was inside. I ran inside and I was like, Mommy, el perro está teniendo un seizure. He was having a seizure. And my mom was like, what? She was super, super scared because she didn't know what was happening either. And so she was like, Ginger,
Ginger, ¿qué te pasa, Ginger?
and then all of a sudden he just stops. Everything was normal. He flips over. He was looking everywhere, like where am I? Like he was completely unconscious. He did not know what was happening. And so I
was like, Ginger, it's me, and I touched him.
My mom got him up, and he started walking normal, a little tipsy because maybe because he was dizzy or whatever. I don't know what's happening to him. So he stood up completely normal and he started walking. So I called my dad automatically, and I was like, Bobby, my dog had a seizure. And he automatically told me to give him water, make sure he wasn't in hot, like there wasn't heat around him or nothing like that would affect him more than what he was. So I was crying. I was super, super nervous. We calmed him down. He drank water. He was completely normal. So I called the veterinarian of him, and the veterinarian didn't answer. Turns out he was in vacation and he couldn't answer the phone. Obviously I wasn't gonna take him to the vet because I searched it up online. I called the vet and they told me it's normal that a dog has seizures. If he has another one, you could take him in. Yeah, he didn't have another one, so he was completely normal. And then those 2 months passed normal, and he was left, he had no problem, absolutely no problem. So let's get started on the day that he actually died. Well, the day before he actually died. So the day before, my sister comes and she's outside or whatever, and then all of a sudden I see Ginger, and he's like, he doesn't walk straight. He's like falling. I don't know what's happening to him. And so I was like,
Ginger. So I started screaming. I was like, Ginger, ¿qué te pasa, Ginger?
So we took him inside, and when we see the bowl of him where he drinks water, it wasn't empty yet, it was like halfway. So I was like, oh my god, so he drank a lot of water. So we took him inside automatically, and that's when he was here and he was walking normal, but falling. He kept on falling. He kept, like, his feet would fail him, so he wouldn't walk like how he usually walks. And so we gave him water. My sister was inside with him. My sister's boyfriend left outside. He kept on doing what he was doing because we thought, you know, maybe he's just hot. So as soon as he came inside, he laid on the floor and spread his legs. Maybe because the floor was really cold and he was hot outside. That's the first thing I thought. I was like, he's completely overheated. That's what came to my mind. And so that started at 3 in the afternoon. And so
I started talking to him, and I was like, Ginger, what's wrong with you? I pet him. I was like, Papi, get the boss. That's how I usually talk to him.
And he was not him. He kept on staring at the walls when he never does that. He's always happy, jumping or whatever. He's not that hyper of a dog. He would always be happy. His tail wouldn't even move when I talked to him, and that was completely weird because when I talk to him, his tail always moves. When anybody talks to him with a little voice, you know, his tail always moves, and he was not moving. His tail was not moving at all. And so that's when I was like, something's wrong. Something's completely wrong with him. He's never like this. So then he kept on staring at the walls. He walked forward and bumped into the wall, and all of a sudden just dropped. I was like,
super in shock. I was like, Ginger, what's wrong with you? And I was like super scared. I ran. I called my sister. My sister came inside, and she was like, something's wrong.
So we were gonna take him to the vet. We were just waiting for my mom to come from work, and it was 5. So my mom called. During that time, from 3 to 5, he kept on staring at the walls, whatever. At like 4:30, he bumped into the wall. My mom called, and I told her the story. And she was like, I'm on my way over there. When we get over there, we're gonna see what's gonna happen to him. And so when she literally parked the car, my dog he was on the floor with his feet wide open, but he was conscious. He knew what you were saying, he knew what he was doing. And so he was there laying down, and he just started going like his face. He started going like that, and I was like super scared. And my sister's boyfriend was there, and since he has bigger dogs, he kind of knows. And so I was like, what's happening? I was super scared. And then he started going like that, started having another seizure. And that's when I was like, that's it. Super sentimental. So I ran outside crying. And then my sister, cause she was like, can't see that because it was really ugly what was happening to him. He kept on, he started like throwing saliva through his mouth. He started moving quickly. His feet started moving fast. And then he peed himself while having the seizure. He peed himself. And so my mom came in and she saw him like that. She was like, Ginger. It was about, I think, like 30 seconds or something like that. It was a short seizure. And so I ran outside crying because I thought he was dead already, like something was gonna happen. So my sister was there and she came out.
She was like, Sherly, he's not dead, whatever. She gave me a hug. And I was like, I didn't know what was happening.
I was like, maybe, you know, because I read online that dogs, when they have seizures, they could die on the moment or he could die after. So I was like, give him some time because if he dies, I cannot see him like that. So my mom came outside and she told me that. And so I went inside, super nervous, and I saw him. And I talked to him, whatever, le pasé la mano. And so I saw that the whole house was peed, full of saliva. The house was a mess. And I was like, what am I gonna do? What's wrong with him? I don't know what's happening. And so the first thing I thought, since it happened to him 2 months ago, and then he started acting normal, and then he was normal for the next 2 months, I was like, I'm just gonna wait for tomorrow to come so we could take him to the vet and see what's happening. And so, or just, you know, the vet could come to my house, better yet, so he doesn't move. And so my mom was like, let's just give him one more day, see what's happening, and then we'll take him to the vet. Because if we go now, we're not gonna resolve anything, because maybe we waste a certain amount of money on something that he could cure by himself. And so we went outside, we put him there, we called the vet automatically, and he answered, and he was like, give him Benadryl. And so we gave him Benadryl. He drank a Benadryl, and he was completely sleepy the whole time. He couldn't wake up. He couldn't do anything. He basically, you talk to him and his eyes would open a little bit like that, but he wouldn't open his eyes completely or walk or anything like that. And so
we gave him that. My sister left because he was completely asleep, so what was the point of being there? My sister left to her house, and then we were there. I gave him one more day.
So he went to sleep, and then it was like 8, so I went inside and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna give him time, maybe he'll get better tomorrow, because that's exactly what he did last time. I went to sleep at my normal time. I went to check him before I went to sleep, and he was fine. He was sleeping like the Benadryl like last time. And so the next morning I woke up and it was 6 in the morning. I called my mom and she was like, if anything, if he's not normal, we'll take him to the vet, see what's wrong. I won't go to work, we'll figure this out. And so I was like, perfect. So we both went outside, and that's when it hit me big, because he wasn't him. I went outside and he was laying down. His house is like, it has like 2 steps here, and then he has to go down 2 steps to go to the normal grass here. So when we went to sleep, we put him here, and then he, during the night, I don't know how he did it, because he couldn't even walk because he gave that Benadryl, plus on top of that he had the seizure, so he was completely not him. And so he went down 2 steps and he went over here and he laid down, and when we went outside he was laying down over there. And then my mom came and she was like,
Ginger, Bobby, whatever.
We started talking to him, and he could not get up from the floor. It was like he was stuck in the floor. He could not get up. His legs would completely fail him. It was something that never had happened to him. We're definitely taking to the vet today. We can't give him more time, because if not, something's gonna happen to him. So I came and he started moving his tail fast, and he knew who I was. He just didn't know how to get up. He knew something was wrong with him. And so my mom automatically, she called the vet, and the vet's like, I'm here in Homestead. When I go down to where you guys live, I'm gonna go over there and see what's wrong with your dog. And so we're like, okay, perfect, because you know what we were gonna resolve is going to a vet when we had him. And so we waited some time till he came, and in those 2 times he had a seizure. He had 2 seizures. Put him air, we gave him water, he couldn't stand up, something was bad. It was really bad. And so the vet came after those 2 seizures. The vet came and he saw him. He talked to my mom because he didn't want to talk to me, because I was really bad. I was terrible. I was crying. And so the vet was like, he told my mom, and he was like, listen, don't give her too much hopes, because the dog's old and he could die anytime. So don't give her too much hopes. Try to prepare her for his death. And I'm not saying he's gonna die, but try to prepare her just in case he dies. It won't affect her as much, which it was gonna affect me either way. They told me there or later on, because it was a death that was gonna affect me tremendously. And so the vet gave him 2 medicines. He pinched him one. I don't remember what it was, but he pinched him one, and he pinched him another one, and he told me that if he had eaten. And so I told him no, because he didn't eat, he didn't drink water, just a little bit.
He was like, give him honey, because the honey, maybe it's his sugar, and the sugar could lower down, and it could cause seizures.
That's why maybe he's having a seizure, because he hasn't eaten and he's having more seizures. And so I got honey automatically, and it came and it gave him some honey. He drank it. Already woke up from the Benadryl. He was really bad. It was worse than the other day. My mom was like, tell her, because she's not gonna believe me. And so the vet told me, I don't want to tell you anything bad, but this is what's happening. I don't give you too much hopes, so don't expect to him completely run again and do what he has to do, because that's not gonna happen. And so like, I knew that he was gonna die. I knew it. I just had this big feeling inside me. And so we gave him the medicine and we waited some time. And the vet told me he's not gonna have any more seizures after that. So after the vet left, like 30 minutes later, he had another seizure after the medicine he had given him. So the medicine didn't work, or the seizure was so severe that he had another seizure. We called the vet again. He told me that he was not normal, that he had another seizure, but let's just give him time because the medicine maybe hasn't hit yet. And so we gave him some time. After the vet left, we were there, and he had 3 other seizures that same day. He had 3 constant. It was like, and they started getting longer. It wasn't just 1 minute, because when you searched up online, it said if it lasted more than 1 minute, he could die, because he was really hot. It was like a fever. So his body temperature would get really hot and he would just die. And so it started lasting. He had one of 30 seconds for about 1 minute, and he had another one like right after that one. And so we kept on putting him air and giving him water, and so it was bad. And then I came running back and I was crying. My mom saw me really bad, and so she, oh my god, I feel like crying. And so she holds him, and we talked to him, you know. And so he had another one in that time. And then so she came back and she was like giving him some food. And so in that time he ate normal. And he was drinking water. And then my mom, she told me, I feel like he's gonna get better, because so my mom told me, I feel like he's gonna get better because he's eating, and I really think the medicine is working for him because he's eating one before he didn't eat. And so I was there with him, and after she said that, about 5 or 10 minutes later, he had another one. And so I was like, that's how we're taking him to another, because that one that came, the medicine that he gave him, obviously is not working, and it was gonna get him worse. And I was scared. My most fear was that he died in my house, because I knew that if he died in my house, it would affect me tremendously. My heart would just drop. We got him in the car and we called the vet again, and we're on our way to the hospital with him. We're not gonna wait no longer because this is really bad. The first thing he said was, is your daughter there? She was like, no. I was there, but if I said yes, he wasn't gonna say what he had to say because he didn't want to affect me. And the first thing he told my mom that I heard it, he was like, if I recommend you
to go to the hospital and tell them that your daughter's having seizures, that you want to put him to sleep,
because the money you were gonna waste was not gonna help him in anything, because they were gonna do him probably an MRI of $3,000, and at the end of the day, it wasn't gonna be my Ginger, it wasn't gonna be who my dog is. He wasn't gonna run, he was gonna have brain damage, and he was 10 years old. He was probably gonna die super soon. So there was literally no turning back. It was just go, tell him you want to put him to sleep. There's nothing else to talk about. She hanged up the phone. She said okay. She hanged up the phone, and I looked at her and I was like, please, I'm begging you that when we go to the vet, don't say you want to put him to sleep. Say what was happening to him. Is there anything to help him? And if there's nothing else, there's no alternative, then we put him to sleep. The way over there in the car, it was terrible. It was terrible. I cried so much. I was there with him on the back, and I was scared that he had another seizure in the car, because when he had seizures, he would hit himself. And so I didn't want him to see him suffer. My main thing was I didn't want to see him suffer. I knew he was gonna die. I just knew it. And I kept on passing my hand through him. I was like, Ginger, I'm here for you. I'm sorry that we have to do this. If we have to do this, I'm sorry.
He didn't open his eyes. But he was alive. And so, I'm sorry. And so,
we went to the hospital. We got to the vet. And we told the vet what was happening. And we didn't take him out of the car. We didn't take him out of the car because we didn't want we just wanted to talk to him first and saw him. So the doctor came and he told us, get him out of the car. I want to see how he is, and I'll tell you what's happening and what's gonna happen to you. And so we got him out of the car. My sister came and her boyfriend. My sister's boyfriend got him out of the car because he couldn't walk. So we carried him out of the car. I literally have a knot in my throat because I don't want to cry. And so we got him out of the car. And the doctor said, he's like, what do you want to hear? What you want to hear or what I think that's going to happen? And I was like, no, tell me your opinion. Your honest and full opinion. Tell me completely what's going to happen because I want to be prepared. And he was like, if I were you, I would just put him to sleep. There's no thing that could help him. Either way, you wasted $3,000 or more on the MRI. It was not going to help him because it wasn't going to be my ginger. He was going to have brain damage. He wasn't going to walk. He wasn't going to run. He wasn't going to be him. So he told me, if I were you, I would just put him to sleep. And I was crying. I didn't want to put him to sleep. I wanted to fight to the last moment. And so I'm gonna tell you something. They put him medicine. I was like, yes. He was like, is he still having seizures? Yes. Then there's nothing I can help you in. He's gonna die. He told me like that he's gonna die. And so I was like, I'm just gonna put him to sleep. And so anything that you were gonna do, nothing was gonna help him. So I was like, okay, let's just do it. And then my mom was there with me and she told him, do you want to do that? Do you want to put him to sleep? Yes or no? And I was like, yes. I don't want to take him home anymore. I don't want to see him suffer anymore. He's suffering. He's not going to be him afterwards. He's old. He has lived a good life. I've attended him super good. And so we were there, and that's when the doctor said, okay. So he did what he did. He was like, give me a moment. He took him in. He put him an IV, I think it's called, here in his arm. And, or here, somewhere around his arm. And then he took him out. And when he took him out, and so the doctor said, say your last goodbye because you're not going to see him no more. So I told him, I'm sorry I have to do this, but that's not what I wanted to do. This is not how I wanted things to end. And he was saying thank you for everything you've done. He was saying he would appreciate it because he didn't take out his tongue in the whole time that we were there. And when I said goodbye to him, he licked my face like saying thank you. And then that's it. I couldn't see him anymore. And so that was the last time seeing him. The last time, spending time with him. And after that, we went home. And that's it. That's the end of the story. I didn't want to get more into details. I literally said everything, but I didn't want to get in my last video more into details because I knew I was gonna get like this. And so after he died, I didn't go outside for about 3 weeks. I didn't go outside, and I didn't do anything. All I thought about was him. I dreamed about him. Everything I thought about, everything, I would get excited, and the first thing that would pop up inside my head was him. And so I would get sentimental. I was literally sad for about 1 month straight, thinking about him. Everything I would think about was him. So It was terrible. It's gonna be 3 months that he died. On July 11th, he died April 11th. It's gonna be about 3 months that he died. And I cried straight. I cried for 2 weeks straight. Every day I would cry. My mom was there for me the whole time. My sister was there for me the whole time. We all cried. We all, you know, experienced a terrible moment, but it was his time to go. Since I'm here, I'm obviously super sad. If you see me, I can't tell the story normal how it is without crying, and I think I will never will tell the story without crying. But it was his time to go, and that's life. I have to understand that that's life, that everybody loses a dog. I'm not the only girl that lost a dog, and it was his time to go, and that's it. There's no turning back. And he had a good life with me
because I attended him, gave him food, took him to the park, many things.
My dad cared for him. Everybody cared for him, and everybody loved him, but it was his time to go. And so that's my end of my story. I just wanted to share with you guys the story because I felt like many of you were asking what happened to her dog. So I wanted to share with you guys. Subscribe, like, etc. I'll be posting another video super soon. And thank you for watching. Bye.